We're now going to watch a video on how an erection works.
All right, let's get our learning hats on.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that erectile function is pretty important. I mean, think about it from the reproductive standpoint. It can be pretty challenging to participate in the act of creating a baby or practice.
Not if you've been playing Nikkei.
Yeah. Also, many people suffer from erectile dysfunction. And I always tell my students, you first have to understand how things are supposed to work inside the human body.
Erectile dysfunction?
Understand how things aren't working. So in today's video, we're going to utilize the cadavers behind me to go over some of the amazing
we're going to see like that. Oh, jeez.
As well as the physiology involved in creating an erection.
What's going on here?
What is that?
You're going to be able to explain.
I apologize.
Partner,
I didn't realize there'd be
what's going on in the Netherlands when you choose to participate
Cadavers.
in certain extracurricular activities.
That's all of our faces.
So let's do this. So I'm assuming that most of us have a general idea of what a male erection is, but just to cover
I have no idea.
What is it?
A male erection is defined as the enlargement and stiffening
Whoa.
of the penis. Now, females have a whole
Yours gets that big? Mine doesn't get that big.
Holy shit.
Yours gross.
We'll save that for a whole segment or video all by itself.
What?
But for this erection to be initiated, typically we need some sort of stimulus.
Mine don't look
now,
like that.
Stimulation occurs
Yeah,
in
it's
two
looking a
ways.
little
Things
Slimy.
no one in this
Stimulation
channel
coming
has
down
been
from
told.
the brain,
Yeah, ever.
as well as stimulation of the actual genital organs. Now, when it comes to this psychologic stimulation, this is often in the form of some sort of sensory input or sensory information. Things like visual input. Maybe you see someone that's
Like Nikki.
easy on the eyes. Auditory. Somebody whispering sweet nothings into your ear.
Don't whisper
Olfactory.
sweet nothings
A
into my
stimulating
ear.
smell, if you will. And all this can even be
Yeah, you know,
imagined,
like
which
Bummy's
is
mom's
quite
feet,
the broad
for example.
category with multiple possibilities. Now, tactile stimulation
I am
of the genital
stiffening up.
structures as well as surrounding areas also initiates the erection. However, the most sensitive and therefore most important structure is the distal end of the penis called the glans penis. Now, glans actually means acorn, and anyone who's visualized the glans
Acorn?
yeah, that name makes sense. But
It's a bit of an acorn.
as I
sure.
mentioned, this is an extremely
Hey,
sensitive area.
Hey,
It's
quit
packed
touching
with
your
an
acorns.
extensive amount of sensory
Hey,
neurons.
hey,
And when this
mine
is
are snipped
stimulated,
though.
it sends a signal into the
True,
spinal
yeah, those
cord
little
through a
things
nerve
going
called
up.
the pudendal
Yeah.
nerve. Now, the Latin meaning of pudendal actually means that which you should be ashamed of. You know, because it's bringing sensory information to
'Cause it's so
your
small.
genitals. But once that signal is in the lower portion of the spinal cord, part of that signal or sensation will travel up the spinal cord into the brain so that one becomes aware of such genital stimulation. However, erectile
That's actually
function
pretty interesting,
is
yeah.
primarily from inherent reflexes built into the sacral portion of the spinal cord. That is the lower portion of the spinal cord. So what that means is you don't technically need that signal
Yeah, that's
or
about the
sensation from
size.
the glands or other genitals to actually make it up to the brain in order to have an erection. So in theory, someone who has a spinal cord injury still could get an erection from stimulation of the glands. They may just not be aware of, say, like the feeling or the sensation. The key is this reflexive activation of certain nerve fibers or neurons within that sacral spinal cord. And these nerve fibers or neurons belong to part of the nervous system referred to as the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, you may have heard of the parasympathetic nervous system, but it's part of the autonomic or automatic portion
Suck
of your
my
nervous
acorns
system that controls
indeed.
things automatically.
I've only got
instantly
one
in some
acorn,
cases.
okay?
And it's nicknamed the resting
No,
digest
you only
system.
have
You're
one.
often resting or relaxing.
Do you know
Now this is
Randy?
gonna control the smooth
Mine
muscle of
splits
your
up.
digestive tract to move things along, even activates salivary glands, and yes, is going to control erectile tissue within the penis. And we are definitely going to take a look at these erectile tissues within the penis.
Yeah, that
But
looks
first, let
more
me mention a few
accurate.
things about testosterone. Testosterone is such an important hormone. It is the primary male sex hormone, and its effects are far-reaching throughout the human body. It affects things like bone health, muscle mass and strength, fat distribution, red blood cell production, and even things like libido, sex drive, and therefore can
Libido.
influence erectile function.
Libido
And because
loco.
of this influence, I'm excited to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked provides private, convenient testing in
For a
the
little
comfort of your own home.
sponsorship.
They offer routine blood work, STI tests, and yes, hormone tests like
Yeah, get yourself
testosterone.
checked.
All you have to do
I
is
do.
go online, pick a test, say
You
like
know,
the
and
testosterone
when you get married, you don't have to worry about every
every
check again.
so that
It
you
never
can gather the
happens.
specimen and ship it back
No,
with
we
their
just say we
prepaid
were
labels. They
learning.
also have
Why
methods
you were
to
watching
so that you can
this?
discuss your test results.
Oh
So
man,
if
that's
you're
gonna
interested
play
getting
in
your
great
testosterone
with the
levels checked,
Beetlejuice
maybe you're
clips. I don't
concerned
remember if
about
I did the
libido,
one,
sex
but
drive, or even erectile function,
There's a
or maybe you're an avid gym goer and want to make sure your testosterone levels are at the levels they need to be for adequate strength gains, or maybe you just want to get a routine test like I did and make sure the levels are where they need to be. Either way, go to trylgc.com/IHA and they'll give our viewers 30% off if you use our code IHA30. We'll also put that link in the description
Let's
below.
get
So
checked
back to
together,
these
guys.
erectile tissues. Within the body of the penis, there are three
Can we
cylindrical
check each
masses
other?
of erectile tissue.
We could.
And we're going to take a look at these
All right.
Still
by
feel
looking at
us?
cross section
All
to
right,
the
me
penis.
first.
So
Okay.
deep breath. So here are these three cylindrical erectile tissue masses.
it's gonna be a while before he finds it.
And
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
I understand it resembles an alien. But moving on to the amazing anatomy here. So the first
horrible.
erectile tissue mass is called the corpus spongiosum.
It's horrible. Like,
Corpus just refers
he had to
the
slice
body
up
because it's in the body of the
someone's
penis.
dick
corpse,
to get this
and
image.
spongy because it's this spongy erectile
Dude,
tissue.
whose
And
dick?
spongy
'Cause that's
urethra, that's
mine
where
ain't
the
that big.
probe runs through there. Now, one of the main
Well, we don't
jobs
know.
of
We
the
don't know.
corpus
You know how
spongiosum
big
is to
that
keep
is. He
the
hasn't
urethra
put his
open
finger
so
or
that
anything
seminal
near it.
fluid can exit the body. Now these other
Well, we know that's
erectile
right.
tissue masses
You know.
are the corpora cavernosa. That's just the plural version.
Corpor
This would be the corpus cavernosum
cavernosa.
here, corpus cavernosum here, that's just singular. Now, we know what corpus refers to, but cavernosum is just referring to this cavernous erectile tissue. If you look closely, there's all these tiny little spaces or blood sinuses within each of these, and that's going to be important in a minute, but also these little beams of tissue that you can see are lined with
This is pretty
epithelial
crazy,
cells
actually.
as well as smooth muscle cells. Now, within
That
each
is
corpus
insane.
I'm
cavernosum, there's
immensely
also a
staring
deep
at somebody
artery
else's
of the penis,
dick.
so an important blood supply. So we're essentially putting
How
all
do you
these
know it's not
structures
yours? I
together
thought yours was cut
so that
off.
we can understand how
My
this
balls.
erection will work.
I thought they removed
Let's
them.
kind of talk about two potential scenarios to initiate this process. One of these scenarios could be that psychological. So,
The visuals.
visual, auditory,
Yeah.
the imagination that we
Yeah,
talked
do it
about
like
earlier,
this.
starting from the brain,
Yeah, hold
signal
it
would be
just
sent down
like
the
this.
spinal cord, all the way down to the sacral region of the spinal cord, specifically at sacral regions S2, S3, and S4. And that's where it would activate those parasympathetic neurons. Now, that
No wonder
could
why
be
I might have
potentially the only
erectile
stimulus.
dysfunction.
Most males have a pretty good idea that an erection can occur without any tactile stimulation of the glands or other genital structures. It could just be from thoughts. But
True.
yes, it could also be
Thoughts.
from stimulation of the glands.
Thoughts.
And that would come from the
Thoughts.
epidendal nerve.
Nicky!
The epidendal nerve would go into the spinal cord at levels
Nothing like a good
S2,
thought.
S3, and S4, and would also activate those parasympathetic neurons. So you could see it could be coming from the brain or the genital region, and in a lot of scenarios, it's coming from both areas at the same time. But now that we've activated these parasympathetic neurons,
Sure, I gotta play
we've
the
gotta get
game
signal
and,
out
you
to
know,
the erectile
the same
tissue.
time.
So how neurons get their signal out of the spinal cord is that they send their axons or extensions of themselves into these spinal nerves, which come right off the spinal cord. Now think of
All
a
this
nerve
for an
as
erection,
like an
by the way.
extension cord. And if you were to cut into a nerve, you'd see these tiny little copper wires inside. And those copper wires would be the neurons in this example. So these parasympathetic neurons are going to leave the spinal cord, at least their axons are, through spinal nerves, S2, 3, and 4, and eventually make it into the erectile tissues. Now, I know I've mentioned S2, 3, and 4.
There's
like
going to be
300
a
times,
quiz at the
but
end
it's
of this
probably because
segment,
we
by
had
the
a
way.
mnemonic
Is there? Oh,
way back
shit.
when I was a
Oh,
student.
fuck,
And
I've
the
been
mnemonic
staring
went
too
like this.
hardly
S2,
immensely
3,
at
and 4
penis.
keeps the penis off the floor. And we're about to
Well,
see
you've
that
never
happen.
seen one
So now
that
that
big
we've figured
before.
out the pathway in
I
which those
already said
parasympathetic
that.
neurons get to the erectile tissue.
I know,
Once
just
they are
telling you.
activated or release their neurotransmitters, they cause nitrous oxide to be released within the erectile tissues.
What?
And nitrous oxide is a powerful vasodilator. And remember, within the corpora cavernosa were those deep arteries of the penis. And that
Deep
nitrous oxide
arteries
is going to
of
cause
the
those
penis.
deep arteries to vasodilate or open up, bringing more blood into these tissues.
Nos?
Not only that,
You got
nitrous
nos in their
oxide
dick?
also
Yeah, you
causes
got
a
nos
smooth
up in
muscle
your
this
dick.
tissue to relax, making these spaces or blood sinuses even larger.
Dude, that's
which again allows for
crazy.
even further
Baby, baby,
now,
get
in
ready.
order
I'm
to
gonna give you
achieve
that
this,
nos
we go too
dick.
far. As you can see,
Baby!
there's these
Oh,
white
God, I
connective
gotta
tissue
turn it
bands
down. Holy
surrounding the
shit.
corpora
No,
cavernosa,
no, it's
and eventually
temporary.
those will limit the amount of blood and enlargement
I
that can
hope
take
she comes
place.
down there.
Also, you may have noticed some small little veins here on the top or dorsal aspect of the penis.
Uh,
As the erectile tissue expands, those veins will start to get compressed
think
and
I'm gonna
collapse,
change-
which will limit the amount of
change
blood
my,
that can leave the penis, which actually helps to maintain the erection. And that erection will be maintained until either climax
Underwear?
or until the stimulus ceases or
Like
ends.
what?
Yeah.
Like
But
30
regardless
seconds,
of
a
how it
minute
ends, that
at
was
most,
the
right?
anatomical and physiological awesomeness on how
I
one
hope.
may achieve a proper erection. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you learned some cool things about these amazing
I did,
reproductive
actually.
structures.
I
If you're
did.
interested in
It,
the
it
testosterone
takes
check,
a
be sure to
lot
check
to
out
get
that
an
link in the
erection. I
description
can
below
see
for
why a
Let's
lot
Get
of
Checked.
people
If
fail
you
to
feel
get
the
an
need,
erection.
Yeah.
like, subscribe,
I
leave some
mean,
comments
makes
below. Let us know what
sense.
you want to see in the future and what you thought of the video.
I
and
want to see
we'll
real
see you
life
next time.
dick cutting.
I don't know if that's something you want to see. I certainly don't.
Yeah, I don't
wanna
know if
see
I
it.
want to. Yeah,
That guy does that every day. Like, he's cutting dicks open every day.
Every day off of
He's
dead
like
people.
Lorena Bobbitt.
Oh God, very informative though.
I guess I didn't know all that about the fucking erection.
Yeah, how
function.
complex of a process it is.
I mean,
I mean, I knew blood like flowed in there, but
I didn't know I had nos dick.
I know I didn't realize there was nitrous oxide. Yeah, that's
Fuck
You
crazy.
guys have nos?
Fucking Too Fast, Too Furious ain't got shit on me.
Yeah.
Brian and whatever the other fucking guy's name is.
Next time you're in
Brian.
the bedroom, I'm cranking up the nos, baby.
We'll be done in 15 seconds, bitch.
Hit the nos.
Oh,
Quarter
God.
mile at a time. 10 seconds or
quarter
less.
inch. Quarter
Inch at a time. It's 10 seconds or less.
That's right. Thanks for being part of our vibrant community. Don't miss out on the latest contents by subscribing and liking.
Want more exclusive content? Become a Patreon on our Patreon page. Unlock a treasure trove of VODs, early access, Q&A sessions, and more.
Thanks for being with us. Subscribe and join Patreon, and let's have fun together.